Hey. All right, we're back. Let me know if this is better. Let me know if the connection is better. Again, I am Tequila Coleman, best-selling author, certified life coach, and founder of God Ordained Marriage.com. Masterclass is on steps to heal a broken heart. Okay. As Okay, better. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. As you know, tonight's masterclass, you can apply tonight's masterclass to a counterfeit situation. Okay, I need everyone to just pray. Okay, just pray that this internet connection just becomes stable in Jesus' name. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you all for jumping back on. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, and share this live with someone else because you never know what they might be going through. So we're going to jump right in. Let's first start off with the definition for heal. Okay, heal means to become sound or healthy again. Okay, so that is how you know healing is taking place, where you are moving into a state of becoming sound and healthy again, right? And another definition for heal means to alleviate a person's distress or anguish, right? And so what I'm in tonight's I want to help bring about clarity, give you all understanding, and also give you like a different perspective, because what I have learned in my life dealing with certain situations, the minute God gives me clarity, understanding, and a different perspective, I'm able to now move into a level of healing. Okay, because usually when you're going through or when you're suffering from a broken heart, you're taking things personal, you feel rejected, you feel unloved, right? You question through your mind, right? But when God steps in and give you that clarity, and then you start getting new knowledge, and he gives you a different perspective, right? You're like, okay, now I don't have to take things personal, right? Now I understand what I'm dealing with here. Okay, so this happens when, I hope you all have your pen and paper. Okay, healing happens when you move away from what's hurting you. Okay, you cannot be around an individual who's breaking your heart, who's damaging your heart, who, 1 minute they apologize and they say they're sorry, you having this makeup sex or whatever, only for them to turn around the next week and stab you right back in the back, right? Or hurt you all over again. You got to move away from the person who is hurting your heart. Healing happens when we get clarity, right? Healing also happens when we get new knowledge, new information, right? And healing also comes about once I get this new knowledge, I need to understand the new information that I just got, right? Because that's going to move me into having a different perspective, right? That's the next thing when we talk about, how healing comes about. So I'm going to get a different perspective. Once I get a different perspective, now I'm able to to let this person go. Okay, let go of this hurt and pain, right? And then, I'm moving to a level of I'm learning the lesson, and then I'm growing from what I go through. Okay, so tonight, like I said, we're talking about 7 steps to heal from a broken heart. You're going to get new information tonight. Okay, this new information I'm going to share with you all tonight, it is designed to help you to understand exactly what you're dealing with, because some of you are you're hurting right now. You're suffering from a broken heart because your heart, loves this individual, right? And I'm going to show you in tonight's class exactly what and who your heart love. Okay, we're going to do some identification. So I really hope you all got your pen and paper out, because we got a lot of information to cover. So number one, who's ready for number one? If you're ready for number one, type 1 in the comment section. A broken heart. Who's ready? I don't see any ones in the. Are you ready? Okay, built in fire. Melissa ready. Okay, all right, cool. Thank you all. Pure glam. Right on. She said right on time. Okay. All right. Y'all first step without healing a broken heart. All right. Is you know the difference between true love and toxic love. Okay. Now I want to off by saying, because I don't know who came up with the term toxic love, but according to First John chapter 4, verses 7 through 8, it talks about God love. God. So there's no such thing as toxic love, because if love comes from God, there's nothing about God toxic. Okay, so that's I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, nothing about God is toxic. You either dealing with true love, or it's either or true love or hate. It's not toxic love. We gotta get down to the so like I said, nothing about God is all good. Okay. So when we talk about for the first step, you got to know the difference between true love and what this world called toxic love. Okay. So toxic, when you look up the definition for toxic, it means poisonous, very harmful, invasive, or insidious way, right? So, and like I said, dealing with either true love or hate. Okay, hate means to feel intense or passionate, right? Now let me start. So when I put myself in counseling back in 2015, because at that time I thought, I was having a hard time getting over my child's father, right? Over the breakup. And I thought I was in love with this person, right? Until I went to them. And so the first week when I was in counseling, my first session, God dealt with me concerning my belief around love, right? He began to show me the foundation that I was rooted on, okay? Because I thought love hurt, right? I thought it was love when this man abandoned his child, right? I was so set on. I was telling everybody, he coming back. He gonna come back. We're gonna get married. We're gonna build our family. Tell me. He began to deal with my the foundation of love, right? Can you all still see me and hear me? Let me know if you can see me and hear me. I command this internet to work. We're not gonna do this tonight. Okay, you will work in the name of Jesus Christ. Um, okay, cool. It is good. Come on. Come into agreement with this word. It's good. Now the connection is good. It's working. Yes. We're gonna get this information out tonight. Y'all gonna get free. You're gonna get deliverance tonight. So, like I was saying, when I was in counseling, right? So God dealt with me concerning the foundation I was rooted on, right? I thought love hurt. I thought it was love when you are abandoned while pregnant, right? I thought it was love when the person is tearing you down, right? I thought love was make up to break up, right? I thought love was that back and forth arguing, tearing your hair out, all that crap, right? I really thought that was love until I put myself in. And in the first session, that's when God began to deal with me, and he taught me the true meaning of love, right? And it was this one scripture, 1 Corinthians chapter 8. It talks about builds up, right? So it talks I'm not even gonna go there. It talks about love builds up, okay? And so, number one, okay, you have to understand the difference between true love and hate, okay? Because when it's true love, right, it's gonna build you up. It's not gonna tear you down. When it's true love, okay, it support you, right? It's not gonna remove its support from you because you're not doing exactly what they want you to do, right? When it's true love, okay, it's patient with you, it's not impatient, right? And so the first step in this process is understanding and knowing the difference of when you are receiving true love and when you are receiving hate from an individual, okay? Because like I said, some of you can be hard for heart is your. I see this internet about to tick me off. I'm gonna get my laptop. Wait a minute, 1 second, y'all. So your mind is telling you that you love someone, behave in hateful ways too, right? And that's not love, okay? Um, I want you all to answer these questions. So for the person who your heart is hurting for, I want you to answer the question, okay? So how did this person treat you? Right. How did this person treat you? Okay. The one that your heart is breaking for, is just yearning for, is loving. How did this person treat you? Don't just focus on the good. Okay. Because I know how we are, when we going through, certain things. They were great. Yeah, we had a great time together. And you act like that person didn't get on your nerves. You act like that person wasn't hateful towards you, right? Focus. I want you to focus on the good and the bad. Okay. How did they treat you? How did they talk to you? What did they give to you? Like how would did they give you more hate than love? Did they give you okay, Nandy said not good. Exactly. And I want you to get specific, okay? So when you say not good, you don't got to type it here. I want you to write this down on your piece of paper, okay? When you say not good, get in details, okay? Because I'm gonna something here. When you go in details, right? Just like how I was saying at the beginning, I thought love abandons you when you get pregnant. Right? I thought love was. That's what I seen when the person you love gossip about you, right? And I only thought that because I grew up watching family members gossip about one another. Only trying to say, oh girl, I love you. You're my favorite niece, right? That's toxic. And so go deep, okay? And write out what does not good to you. How did they treat you? What were the things said? Did they call you out of your name? Go deep in this process, okay? How did the person who your heart is yearning for, how did they express love to you? Did they give you the silent treatment? Were there any competition, like they were jealous of you, they competing with you? Like how did they express their love to you? Did they stab you in the back only for them to turn around and say, I'm sorry? They crying, I'm sorry, I didn't. How did they express their love to you? Okay, you understand this. You got to know this, because when you take a look at this is what this person gave to me, right? This is what they were giving me, showing me, okay, treating me, right? Now I got to look at that, their behavior, and I got to measure this up with true love, okay, according to the Bible. Now, for those of you, this is something we're taught in the home. We usually just grew up observing how our parents love on us, whether they say I love you or not. Some parents don't say, oh, just show it in their action, or they might say it only when someone died, you at the funeral, right? But love isn't taught in the home. That's something you observe through your family and your upbringing, right? then you can see it also on television or also just by observing, relationships. And so we got to understand something. Love comes from God. This is found in 1 John chapter 4, verse 7. We gotta go back to the day. If I'm going to heal my broken, first start with what is true love, right? Because I could be thinking I'm loving someone. I think I showed you all this before. I don't have the paper right here, but wait a minute. But if you write out the word believe, right? If you write believe, you see that? What word is in the middle? Lie. I can't point to it. Lie. So her is telling me, oh, I love this person. I can't get out of bed. I'm crying every day. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I'm depressed, right? My heart telling me this. I love this individual, but if you don't know what true love is, you are loving a lie, okay? You loving something that is hateful, right? So we got to know exactly what true love is, and we learn true love by opening up the Bible, and we got to go back to its original foundation, its original creation, where it came from. I can't define love based off of this world and what they say love is, or what they show me to be love, because they world couples arguing. They got that Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know what they got on TV. I don't really watch it. Got all this Housewives of Atlanta shows and stuff, and all you see is hate. And they turn around talking about I love you. They stabbing each other in the back. They cheating on one another. There's no loyalty, but the media portray that to be love. They'll turn around and get married, right? And they paint in this image, in this picture in our mind that this is real love. That is hate. Okay. So we got to make sure we're going back to this Bible. 1 Corinthians, what is it? 1 Corinthians 13 with the love chapter. And we gotta, and that's not the only chapter that teaches you about love. We got to go back to the Bible to learn what true love is. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, right? And I know you all heard this. Love is patient, kind. It does not envy, does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Here's the thing. Because I can read that all day long, but sometimes for some of us, we got to see love in action so that it brings about a corrective experience, okay? Some of us need to just see real love, true love in action so that, we're being corrected in that process, right? Some of us need to see or be in relationship with individuals who, when the debates come about or disagreement comes about, there's no arguing, right? We're not arguing, we're not name calling, right? We're not calling each other out our name. We actually sitting down like two grown adults. We talking at a normal tone, right? Coming to an agreement. That's true love. Right? This is how correction comes about, right? So, like I said, step number one, to understand it between true love and toxic love. Like I said, there's nothing about love that's toxic, because love originally came from God, and there's nothing about God that's toxic. Okay, world. This is of this world. Okay, love or hate, and what most of us is getting from these individuals, your heart is loving, is hate. Is not, and you're getting hate because the person hate themselves, so they projecting how they feel about themselves off onto you. Okay, that's number one. Pure Glam said, yes, I cannot wait to experience a true and healthy love. It's coming. Begin to claim it in the name of Jesus Christ. Begin to claim it. Okay, the second step, we'll talk about healing a broken heart. Don't confuse high intense emotions. You arguing, when you fighting, cursing one another out, just to turn around and have makeup sex, and it'd be good, right? Don't confuse that for love, because it's not. Okay. And this is where we go wrong at, because the person can stab you in the back. The person could just have cussed you out. They could have just did you wrong to your face. But because they saying I'm sorry, because they coming with flowers, because they throwing their body on you, and now y'all just had some good heated makeup sex and it was good. You like, oh, I love her. Oh, I love him. That's toxic. Okay. No. That you can't allow that to erase, okay, what this person's action. Okay. You gotta begin to see this individual showing you. I'm just being honest tonight, okay? Because the brain will as love. We would lie to ourselves, okay? Come on now. We would lie to ourselves. The man that took us on a trip and bought us everything, he took a shot. We started making excuses for him. That's foolishness, right? And then a week later, you back being cheated on because you refuse to see exactly what you're dealing with here. So you can't allow when you're in these situations, okay, and y'all get to arguing and fighting, they calling you out your name, okay, and then only for them to just, right, abusive relationship, only for them to just, y'all had this makeup say, you can't just be like, okay, you can't throw it all out the window and say, okay, no. This person don't know what love is, okay? What they get, and they conditioning your mind to accept this mistreatment and abuse. It's conditioning your mind to accept this, right? They already know how to win you back. It was bad flowers. All I gotta do is be nice for a week, take a shot. She gonna forget all about me cheating on her. They already know this, right? Same with the women. All I gotta do is put on his face where would he like. He gonna forget all about it because he's so focused on the body, right? You can't fall for that. Built-in fire say heated fellowship. And then here's the thing too, because if this is something that you are falling for, right? If this is something where you find yourself in this cycle, you got to ask yourself, where did I first see this, at in my life? Could it be I grew up seeing my parents argue and fight? They calling each other out their name only for them to make up later on. And, they wake up as if nothing happened the night before. And because I saw that growing up, I have that image engraved in my mind. Now I believe this is how love's supposed to act out in relationship. Could it be, right? I seen my mother fight. Man, my mother, let me tell y'all something. My mother, okay, I was raised by a single mom, okay? My mother would go toe-to-toe with any man, okay? Drug dealers, it could be a whole army of them. She did not care. She would walk up on them, okay? Get up your face and scam. That was the crazy part. I'm like, these are drug dealers and they scatter her. So that's growing up, right? And so it could have been easy for me to take that into my relationship. You can think like this is love. You fight individual. You all up in their face and stuff. No, it's toxicity. You gotta call it what it is. Okay. So step 2 is don't confuse high intense emotions and all this makeup sex when it's stabbed you in the back, when they just cheated on you, they just betrayed your trust. Don't confuse that with, oh, they love me. No. Person does not know what love means. Okay. They don't know what love is. Actually, they think that's love when they stab. They really do believe that this is how I'm supposed to love on you. And so this is why they continue to give it to you. They believe love cheat on you. They think you're supposed to put up with it. And I don't know who said it. Oh, that was Miss Jones Pickett. You teach people how to treat you. So if this is what they are offering you in these relationships, you got to get out of there. And you got to, put a boundary there and let them know, no, okay, you probably did this with your previous relationship. It's here. Okay. This not my definition of love, right? Okay. Number 3. Now he getting good, y'all, because we about to really do work. Step 3, when we talk about how to heal from a broken heart. Okay, remember, tonight's masterclass is really helping you to focus on getting clarity, understanding, okay, behind what you love, right? Because like how I could be loving individuals and thinking we praying to God is like God up here like no. He waving a red flag and everything, but we steady praying and begging God, make it work, God. All this stuff. And God is like, you just running all through these red lights, And so the goal of tonight's class to give you understand what your heart really think it love. Okay, if it's love, your heart, your mind think it's love. Your mind is telling you it loves this individual, but what you're getting is hate. Okay, that's what I'm getting at here. So the third step in healing from a broken heart is, on a sheet of paper, I want you to write down who you thought this person was. We can create, when we meet these individuals and we get in these relationships with these individuals, we create, like we create a whole different person in our mind of who we want them to be or think that they are, right? Only for them to be showing us something different, right? And sometimes it becomes hard for this individual because you created this person in your mind, right? In the beginning, see, they love bombed you in the beginning. They were nice, they were loving, were caring. They probably gave you a little support. God, this is an amazing man. This is an amazing woman. This is the woman of my dreams, right? Only for after, because once you let your guard down, then their true color come out, right? And they start showing us their true selves, right? But because we lying to the person who we created them to be up. Okay, the person you have in your mind, like, who do you think this person is? Write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, who have I created, this person to be in my mind? And this was a moment for me. I viewed this individual, I was like, oh my God. I think this I highly character. I know, Jay. This internet it's going to it's good. Got it with it. I don't my nerve. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Words. No, it's gonna work. Y'all, look, type it in the comment. It's working. It's working. It's working. Okay, come on. No glitching. Okay, like I was saying, on a piece of paper, write down who you thought this person, who you think this person is, right? I want you to write down the fantasy person you built in your mind, right? And just as I was stating, this one particular person I was in a relationship with, I have built up this ideal person. I was like, oh my God, he's amazing. I highly esteemed him. And this was a couple of years ago. I highly esteemed him, held him in, just like I just had good thoughts about him and thought he was one way. only because you don't know what a person is or what's a person until their back is up against the wall. And when his back was pushed, against that wall, he turned into where he really didn't turn into it, but his true character came out. And I remember saying to him, I said, you was. I said, you're not who I thought you was. It took me 5 years to figure this out, know. And that broke the change off of my mind. That was the very thing that helped me to let this individual go, because I was holding on to that ideal person, I had in my mind of him. Oh, he's a great father. He will be a husband, etc., etc. When he was up against the wall, to call me out my name, and I was like, you're not who I thought you was, right? And so that freedom to me, when God revealed that to me, I was able to break free and finally let that person go. Okay, so like I said, on a piece of paper, write down, who do you think this person is? Write it down. Okay. And then on the other side, so on the left side of the paper, I want you to write down who you think this person is, the image, the ideal person you built in your mind. On the right side, I want you to write down who they really are. Like, what are they for you? Because this is who they really are. You harm you, or you that it's all about them, and they can care less about them. Showing you that they will compete with you. When you are winning, create success, they get quiet. What are they showing you? Because this is the real person. Are they showing you that they will abandon you? They will reject you, okay, at the first sign of an argument or disagreement? What are they showing you? Okay. And so answer these questions. Here's a question I want you all to answer for yourself. So what have they shown you in the past? Okay. What have you, because this is the real person. How did they treat you? Sometimes we could think this person just got it together. On the outside, they could look very confident, sure, they might have a status about themselves. But when you start dating these individuals, when you involve yourself in a relationship with these individuals and get close to them, you start learning the real person. Yourself, you really have it all together. Or were they just known a persona, to make the outside people think it all. How did they speak to you? Were they intimidated by you? Bree said this happened in her counterfeit marriage. Yeah, that's right, Bree. She said we date their potential or the expectation we have for them, and sometimes don't accept people as the toxic people they prove to be and then be hurt. That's true. And we will date off potential. But potential, let me tell you something, potential will get you only so far. That's just like dating, just, for lust. A lot of us, we confuse love with lust, until something happened in that relationship where lust just ran out, start seeing where this person really stop at, when certain challenges comes about. Okay. But, compare the difference, this is the person I built up in my mind. This is who I thought they was, right? I thought they, was a person. I thought they was a man or a woman of God. I thought, this was gonna be the person who would love me for the rest of my life, but when you write down, this is what they showing me. This person hate me. This is what they showing me. They say they're a woman of God, but they showing me they don't know God. They showing me they actually mock God. They far from God. They showing me that they're actually a witch operating in witchcraft, right? You got to really go there with yourself and make yourself believe is on you, okay? So that your mind can stop telling you, oh, I love this individual. What, you love a witch? You love somebody who love to disrespect you? You love one who loves to cheat on you and stab you in the back, that's you love. Sometimes we got to go there with ourselves, okay, to help ourselves really see the reality of the situation. Sometimes you got to tell your heart, I don't love this. Because when you get clear on what it is that your heart really desire, when you ask yourself, what do I want in a relationship? When you get clear on this is what I want in a relationship, I believe that was Pure Glam Olivia who said she want a healthy relationship. So when you get clear, I want a healthy relationship, and a healthy relationship look like this, and then you take a look at what this person who you're what they are giving you, you say that's not healthy. That's not love. Once, okay. Yeah, so when you take a look at what they're giving you, and you clear on what it is you want out of a relationship, you're like, they not, and what they're giving me isn't in alignment. It's not even lining up. Okay. So, hey, Oscar, thanks for joining today. So you got to literally tell yourself, my heart don't love this. Okay. You just got to go there. We don't hate. We don't love disloyalty. We don't love that. We don't love when a person is dishonest with us. We don't love that. We don't love people gossip about other people. I don't love that. Right? You got to go there and tell yourself that. Okay. Got me choking. MCA said no eating in class. Okay. Not before. You know the signs, okay? This was a game changer. This was and this is what I do in all my relationships. It could be friendships, it could be intimate relationship. I look for the signs, and it could be a bad side because I'm trying to figure out who am I with. But do you know the signs of immaturity, in a person? Do you know the signs of lack of character? That's when a person is emotionally unavailable. Do you know the signs of poor communication? Because if not, you're going to be confused about what you're getting in these relationships, okay? So let's start with immaturity. Signs of an immature person, okay? When you know the signs of and what to look for in an individual that's telling you out of their mouth, I love you, because sometimes that can confuse you. This person is telling you, I love you, but their actions saying is communicating a totally different message, right? And we would be, as women, we're guilty of this. As women, we will focus in on words and not look at the action, right? And you will let your woman love you. For the man, you woman saying I love you, and you get fixated on her body, but you overlook how she's treating you. You overlook how she's making you feel disrespected as a man, right? So you got to know the signs to look for. So here are some signs of an immature person, okay? Not taking responsibility for their action. This is a sign to know you're dealing with an immature. They don't take responsibility for their action. They need to be the center of attention, okay? And they would do anything, for attention. They can never admit when they're wrong. It would be a lot of name calling. This is what a mature person. Always picking fights, right, with you or with others. They would dismiss your feelings. A lot of passive aggressiveness will show up in the relationship between the two of you. They love to bully other people. They're very petty. This is how you know you're dealing with someone who is immature. They petty, and they try to one up you. They have this mindset. I'm gonna get back at you. You like if you do something to them, let's say you correct them and it hurt their feelings or they got offended. So in they mind, they're like, I'm gonna get them back. All right. They very petty, you know. They have zero impulse control. Okay, so they act without thinking, they just blurt things out, zero impulse control. They're very rude, they gossip and slander other people's name. Okay, this is how you know you're dealing with someone who is immature. They refuse to apologize. Um, they also they will remove their support when they see that they can't control you or manipulate you. So they're just, it's like a little kid. They start having these little temper tantrums, and they're like, "Well, I'm not gonna help you then. I'm not gonna support you then. If you don't side with me, if you don't take my side, or if you don't agree with me, then they start getting." They play the blame game, so they will blame you for everything. Excuse me. They make you feel bad for them, okay? That's immaturity and manipulation. Down. And this, we're gonna talk about that next. But they shut down, okay, because they don't even have the emotional capacity to communicate, with you on that level. They lack consideration for others, for you, for your needs and your wants. It's all about them. And they don't respect your boundaries. Okay, so when you're dealing with an immature person, when you establish boundaries with them, they will try to break your boundaries. They will overstep your boundaries. You will always feel frustrated when you're dealing with them. You will feel a lot of irritation. It's going to be a lot of manipulation when you're dealing with a person. Okay. Let's talk about signs. Now, severity reminds me of we can be so focused on, we quick to say this person narcissistic, but yet you still deal with them. You still deal with them. You still in a relationship with them, right? But when I was being very strategic in tonight's class by not saying narcissistic, because I want everyone to focus in on knowing the signs. You have to know exactly what you're dealing with. Don't just lump all of this stuff in with narcissistic. You have to be able to tell yourself, my heart loves an immature woman. My heart loves an immature man. Is that what you really to love? Like, you got to go there with yourself. Okay? I don't want to love anything that's immature. So that's why, so let's talk about signs of bad character, okay? Because in this world, okay, signs that a person has bad character, lie. They just lie. It just comes so easy off their lips, okay? You can call them and say, what you doing? They lying about that, So just nothing but lies come out of their mouth. They easily diss others. They behave in snake ways. They are very dishonest. They don't walk their talk. Okay, so this is how you know this person is lacking character or has bad character, because again, a lot of people are saying, I'm a man of God, I'm a woman of God, but you don't even walk your talk. You don't even know what it means to be a woman or man of God, right? So you got to look at, don't just focus in on what they say, you got to look at their action. Signs of bad character is they talk bad about other people, they slander other people's name, they gossip about other people, they falsely accusing people of wrongdoing. This is like they got bad, terrible character. They got different personalities. So one minute when you are with this individual, they one way, but when you see them with another group of people, they're a whole different person. That's a red flag, and that's also letting you know this person can't be trusted, and this person has bad character. Okay. Brown nosing, so they kiss up to people. Okay, that's a red flag, because that means they would turn on you too. They're a hypocrite. They will stab you in the back. They cheat and they are disloyal. They selfish. Okay. They will. Okay, you hear a lot of double talk going on with them. They fast talker. They charmers. And here's the thing for my lady: you get up in a man even if this is your prodigal, if he talk good, because our man, they know the words to say to us, okay? They know what to say to us to get us, laughing, to get what they want. So you can't really be so caught up in what this man is saying, and you can't, just allow the smooth talk to, woo you. What else you got? That need to be your energy, okay? What else you got? I'm not about to be moved by what you're saying out of your mouth. Another sign a person has bad character, they don't keep their word. They have no integrity at all. And they will tell all your business to other people. Okay. As Bree said, I wish I would have known all of this years ago. Let me tell you something. If I would have known this about 10 years ago, I probably would have only had one. Be honest, okay? I'm just being honest. It just makes it easier when you really, because you see how I just went through the immaturity, now I went through the bad character. Now we see what we're dealing with. My heart is telling me I love this individual, but not as do really love a person who is immature character? No. Therefore, I have to tell my heart, we don't. My heart yearn for this person. I don't know. We're not yearning for no bad character, okay? We're not yearning for immaturity, okay? No. So, here we gotta say opposite. Let's talk about signs of emotional unavailability. When a person is emotional unavailable, they will keep you really good. That's a big red flag. Okay, you're dealing with an unavailable person when they keep you a secret and your relationship a secret. Okay, so they're not going to put on you, and they avoid the word love. Okay, you say you love them, they about to pass out or they off the phone. They're emotionally unavailable. Another sign is they only allow you to get so close to them. Okay, they will keep you at a distance. Bree said, you described my counterfeit ex-spouse to the T. I was so confused, lukewarm, hot and cold. Don't wish it on nobody. Yeah. Another sign you're dealing with an emotional person, they show up late, they cancel plans at the last minute, the relationship is one-sided. So you might find yourself when you're dealing with someone who is emotionally unavailable, doing all the work. You're doing all the calling, you're doing all the texting, you're the one planning dates, you're the one, showing all the interest, right? They might even put you in a position where now you feel like, as the woman, the only way I could keep his attention is by giving him my body. And when you offer your body, he's like, okay, he's available for that. But after he get the body, he shut right back down. He go back into his cage. He get back silent, get distant, and you don't even hear from him again, right? Emotionally unavailable. You feel drained in a relationship. This is how you know you're dealing with an emotionally unavailable person. You just feel drained. You don't know who you getting on any given day. 1 minute they good, the relationship going great. The next minute, it's like they just turned into a whole different person. There's a lot of mood swings, now they evil. Acting like you just did something wrong, done something wrong to them. Another sign you're dealing with an emotionally unavailable person is they have a fear of intimacy and being you. Okay, so they won't have any depth to them. Okay, they won't even allow you in because they're afraid of this intimacy and being vulnerable. They also lack connection. They will also send you right. They will also send you mixed messages. This is a good one. Well, Melissa just wrote emotional roller coaster. That's exactly how you will feel when you are dealing with a person who is emotionally unavailable. You will feel that you are on a ride at what is it, Cedar Point. and they get you on this ride and you just all over the place, just an emotional roller coaster. Okay. Come on. 1 minute you up, next minute you down. Okay. Emotions all over the place. Okay. Like I said, they send you mixed messages away, they will appear on you, and only for them to pop right back up about a month or two months down the line, talking about and blaming it on you. They'll make you feel like it was your fault. Well, you the one stopped calling. Well, you the one, I text you, but you never respond back. Well, they ain't sent no text, right? So they'll put it off on you, after, like you the reason why they ghost you and disappear. They have commitment issues. They are indifferent. They are set on misunderstanding you, and they are inconsistent. Okay. So again, the reason why I didn't want to say narcissistic, because I need everyone to really be able to identify these are the signs of immaturity, emotionally unavailability, and this person don't have any character. Therefore, when my heart tell me, oh, I love this person, no, we don't. I don't love that. I tell my heart, you're gonna get over this. We don't love that, right? Sometimes you got to talk to your heart. We don't love this, okay? We love, and you got to tell your heart and mind, right? Because we're dealing with our soul here. When you're dealing with a broken heart, you're dealing with your soul. Your soul is broken. Your soul consists of your mind, will, and your emotions, right? So sometimes you got to tell your mind what to love. We love, like mind. This is what we love. We love emotional availability. We love a person who has character. We love mature individuals. We love, an individual who, is loyal, is faithful, right? That's right. Invisible Cloak said, yes, we have to talk to ourselves at times. Right. You have to tell yourself what you will love versus your heart telling you, oh, I love this. No, we don't. Because you're loving something that is toxic for you, is poisonous to you, and is hate. They're giving you hate, okay? And then when we talk about poor communication, right? They give you the silent treatment. They interrupt you in conversation. They passive aggressive. They don't listen, right? You talking, you trying to be vulnerable and open up. It's going right out the other ear. They're not listening to you. They set on misunderstanding you. They use aggressive language. They very defensive. They lack empathy, and they have poor emotional intelligence. Okay. So that's number 4. That's number 4. The 5th way on how to, I forgot my title, y'all. The 5th step to heal a broken heart is, now we got to take a look at ourselves, okay? And you got to begin to ask yourself, in what ways was I an individual I chose? When we talk about healing, okay, I need to understand why did I attract this to me? And I'm about to say something that you are going to be like, what? But even though God chose this particular spouse for you, and they are in their prodigal state of mind, they are a reflection of you to a certain extent. They're reflecting something back to you that is in you, okay? So this is where we got to sit down and begin to take a look at ourselves and ask ourselves, okay, what is going on in me, okay? When we talk about counterfeit, what's going on in me that caused me to choose this counterfeit, right? Because I chose it. So why did I choose it? What was the connection, that drew us together? Was we both meeting a need at that time in one another? Were we, fulfilling a void in one another, right? You got to go there with yourself. When we turn to our prodigals, okay, let me take a look at my prodigal. What is my prodigal showing, reflecting back to me? Because some of this stuff my prodigal is reflecting back to me is also in me. So if your prodigal is reflecting back a lot of pride, powerful person. Jay said, yes, insecurities, right? If your prodigal is insecure, they're competing, comparing, acting jealous of you, you may find yourself, feeling insecure, jealous of the counterfeit, right? It's a reflection. I told you all yesterday how when last year when God revealed my spouse to me, I felt intimidated by him. Little did I know he also felt intimidated by my standards and my success. So we both reflecting one another, to each other. We were a reflection. So we got to begin to look at why did I choose, and I want you to apply this part to the your previous relationship. Why did I choose this individual? Why did I choose them? Maybe at that time when you chose this person, the two of you just didn't have any character. And that's why you chose them, because you didn't see anything wrong with how they were showing up, because that's how you were showing up, Or maybe at that time, you were in search for love and that person was in search for love as well. And, y'all probably thought love was lust, and right? That you're growing, right? Because that's why breakups happen. Breakups happen when we are no longer walking in this, we're no longer on the same accord, and 9 times out of 10, one person has outgrown the other, right? So we're not even walking or heading in the same direction. So maybe at that time when you chose that counterfeit, y'all was on the same level, but now that you are growing to the next level, you're like, I've grown this, I'm loving myself now. I'm mature and I'm growing in character, but yet your heart keeps telling you you love this individual. And then again, you got to tell yourself, I don't love that. You said, what about, Sylvester said, what about, why did they choose you? But you allowed it, so it goes, why did you allow them to choose you? Sometimes, because I went through that, sometimes we allow people to choose us because the one wanted or want didn't choose sex. So we just self. But you got to tell, even though they were choosing me, why did I allow them to choose me? One of my children's father, because he's older, he's in his 60s. I knew exactly why I chose him at that time, because he was the one who was there for me when my second son father abandoned me. That was the first time, I told y'all this story last night. That was the first time I learned a man and his child. I was like, this should be against the law. Like, they need to go to jail for this crap. And, so he was the one who was there for me. He helped get me through that time in my life. He's a counselor. So he was the one pouring into me, counseling me, helping me out of that depression. And as a result, I fell for him. But here's the thing. Another reason why I allowed him, I'll say it this way. The reason why I chose him was because he just take the focus off his age. He was like a father figure to me. He taught me things my father didn't teach me. So he was he was healing that father wound for me, teaching me things about myself, teaching me how to make my life and provide for me, And so, well, Kathy, what I mean when I say against the law, they shouldn't get no free pass, because the child support law, they allow these absent fathers to pay child support but don't be in their child's life. That should be a no-no. It should be required. If you have a child, you are required to not only financially provide, but also take care of this child, right? Be in this child's life and, know your child. That's the part. That's what I'm talking about. They let them off the hook, and I don't like that. So I chose him because me at that time, right? So, and I'm pretty sure, I can name another reason why he chose me, just being young, but that's where I was at that moment, So we got to begin to ask ourselves, in what ways was I a reflection to this person? And then look at how I'm growing. How have I grown over the years, right? Because relationships into you are now no longer walking on one accord. You're not heading in the same direction. you don't see eye to eye because person don't have to feel. You have a character. You have grown as a man or a woman. You're not guilty for growing because that person has the same permission to grow with you. They choose at that level. Catherine, I'm not gonna fool with you on this line tonight. Catherine's so crazy, you know. So, so you a mirror to the person, okay? You chose in your past, okay? Melissa said he healed my wound too. I didn't really know I was still in a good role in a male figure, in a man figure, and feeling protected, right? And you don't really notice until these individuals come into your life, you know. And I give him, you know, I give him his props for helping me, uh, you know, during that time. Said to me, because without him, I probably wouldn't have made it. I had stopped eating. I couldn't function. I wasn't getting fed. You know, my oldest son, I was like, I don't know who's gonna get him to school because I just couldn't function, you know. And I think it was just a lot of, and it kind of like paralyzed me, you know, and he was the one calling and checking on me every single day. So, you know, it is what it is. But the six steps on how you heal a broken heart is now we're dealing with the expectations, okay? Because you know your heart is broken because what's going to do for the rest of your life didn't meet your expectation, right? So now you're upset. Now your heartbroken. You know you're going through the grieving process right now. You might go through sadness, depression, anger. You know you start bargaining. You know with the individual only for them to just make you mad over again. Deal with the expectation. We got to deal with the expectation, okay? So you got to ask yourself, you know, what was the expectation I had for this individual? You know, maybe for some of you, you know, you had an expectation that they was going to love you, you know, for the rest of your life. But they didn't meet that expectation. They gave you hate. But it doesn't have to stop there. You know, if they didn't give you the love you were looking for now, right now, it's time for you to go ahead and start giving yourself that love you was hoping this individual would give to you. See, when we talk about moving into healing, I got to stop looking to this person who broke my heart to heal me or heal my heart. No, I got to give myself what they didn't or what they refused to give me. So if I wanted love and they gave me hate, well, now I got to move into self-love. I got to start loving myself. I got to know specifically what is it that I'm missing, okay, within myself that's going to communicate love to me, right? Maybe it's support, maybe it's words of affirmation, right? Whatever it is, you know, that's going to communicate love to you. When I identify this is what I need in order for me to feel love, no, I got to give it to myself. I can't look outside, you know, to give me what I can give it to myself, okay? Because this is how you know, our relationship comes about. You're going to reflect, you're going to attract who you are in these relationships. So if I don't love myself, I'm going to attract somebody who don't love themselves. Therefore, let me stop looking outside myself and let me go ahead and operate in self-love. I'm going to fill myself up with words of affirmation. I'm going to, you know, learn how I can be my own support system. I'm going to learn to have my own back, right? Another one is when we talk about the person not meeting your expectation, maybe you wanted them to accept you for who you are. Now the question becomes because they rejected you for who you are, right? They didn't accept the nice person. They didn't accept the fact that you was a great man or a great woman. They rejected that. They wanted boy, right? They wanted, you know, whatever they wanted, right? But because they didn't accept you for who you are, that doesn't mean now you got to sit up here and keep rejecting yourself. No, you began to accept you for who you are. You accept, how God created you. Accept, like I taught in class, one of our session, I was talking about like generally knowing who you are at your core. Just getting comfortable with your learning your personality and really, because when I'm comfortable with me, I don't have to look for acceptance outside of me because I already learned how to accept myself, right? So they love you for who you are. Myself. This is how God created me. I accept me. I'm gonna start rejecting me. I'm gonna start rejecting my calling that's on my life, and I'm gonna accept it, and I'm gonna stand tall in my value, right? Okay. If same thing. If you wanted approval, right? I'm tell you something, because that was one of the things that was holding me bound to a relationship God was calling me out of, because I was waiting on this individual to approve of his child, right? And because I was dependent on his approval of his child, it kept me in a state of seeking after his approval until God flicked that light switch on in me. And it just made sense. I was like, you know what? I don't need your approval. I approve of my child. I approve of me, right? God approves of our child. And God shifted my mindset and took on that mindset of seeking others' approval. And that's how we have to be. If they don't approve of you, if they won't validate, who you are, God is telling you to do, peace, keep it moving. Approve of yourself. Give yourself permission to shine. Okay? Because if you don't approve of yourself, you're going to continue to attract people into your life who will never give you their approval. You got to understand this. Okay? And the last one, number 7, we got to move into forgiveness. Okay? When we talk about how to heal a broken heart, I got to forgive the person who broke my heart. I got to release the expectation. I got to let go of these expectations. Okay? I have to release the resentment, the hate, the disappointment. Okay, this person brought to my heart. I got to let it go. And we can do that through writing a forgiveness letter to the individual. You don't necessarily have to give it to the person. You can write that forgiveness letter and then ball it up, throw it away. But I forgive individual when you no longer need them to what you've been searching for all this time. I don't need it. I'm good because I'm giving it to myself now, right? So when you forgive the person who broke your heart, now it's time for you to forgive yourself. Because I'm sure as I'm taking you through these steps, you're getting clarity like, wait a minute, okay, I was loving the wrong individual. I was loving someone who was broken. I was loving an immature, woman. I was loving someone who didn't have character, right? I was loving someone who is emotionally unavailable. I'm loving someone who gave me nothing but hate, right? And that will cause you to be mad. It will cause you to feel like a fool. Like, why did I even accept this? But here's the key. Just go ahead and forgive yourself. Learn the lesson. Learn everything you went through in these relationships. Learn the lessons, okay? Grow through what you went through. Forgive yourself. Make a decision. When you learn the lesson, and when the lesson, when you learn the lesson, and when it show up again in your next relationship, you shouldn't fail because I learned from this. So now I know what not to tolerate. Now I know the signs of emotionally unavailability. Now I know never to entertain a relationship that keeps me a secret. Now I know. Now I know never to seek people's approval when they don't even approve of themselves, right? You got to forgive yourself. You got to let go of all unmet expectation, okay? Purge that disappointment and resentment from out of your heart. And understand the breakup happened because the two of you are no longer walking on one accord. I said this earlier. Okay. Um, you have outgrown one another. And sometimes God would come in and cause a disruption, disruption to happen between you and this individual, because God is like, listen, it's time for this to end. I'm calling you higher, right? I'm calling you up from here. Okay. And also understand and know that even though this person didn't meet your expectation, God is sending you someone who's going to exceed your expectation. God is going to give you someone who's going to show you what true love is. They're going to love you in ways you've never been loved before. You got to believe this, okay? But in order to get there, you got to let go of what's hurting your heart, okay? So those are the 7 steps on how to heal a broken heart. I do invite you all to join our Marriage Academy. If this blessed your life, just imagine the mission out of our Marriage Academy. You can join the academy over at godordainedmarriages.com/academy. If you are having go and treatment. Thanks for joining us. If this is your first time tuning in, because I know we had some people popping in, jumping in, and now if this your in, make sure that subscribe button. Okay, everyone like this video. Thank you, Whole Bright Life. She said very good stuff. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Built-in fire say, let me see. This is why uh, from product. Some of these prodigals, like the enemy, you already know that, the enemy is enriched through your prodigal. And as a result, because your prodigal is giving you hate, right? It's hate. It's coming across hate. It's not love. And so God create that separation so that he could begin to, not deliver your prodigal out of the hands of the enemy, but also God is going to teach your prodigal, what love is and what is not. And he can only do that by sitting them down and encountering them face to face. Okay. You're welcome, Kathy. She said, thank you. Needed to take notes. Yeah. The healing after my last, it was so weird. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So God is going to, give you face-to-face encounter, so that they, begin to learn what it is. And also for the believing spouses, God wants us to know what true love is, so that we can be the first to model it, before our prodigal spouses, because for some of them, they never was shown to love. They don't know what true love is, and so I want us to show it to them. Okay. Okay, everyone in the comments, take your focus off of MCA, because that is a distraction to my message tonight. Okay, so to not be disrespectful to my message, if you want to talk to MCA, y'all do that over there on his channel. Okay, but what you're not going to do is take away from my message tonight. Okay. So like I was saying, 7 steps to heal a broken heart. Understand the difference between true love, and there's no such thing as toxic love, because there's nothing about God that's toxic. Okay. No, it's okay. I just needed to address it because that's a form of distraction. Okay. And I know you are joking, playing around and things of that nature in the comment section, but I got to address it. Okay. Just so we keep the focus on where it's needed to, because let me tell you something. The enemy would love to have you distracted in a moment where God is trying to teach you something. Right. So don't give in to the enemy's tactic. Okay. You know, don't give in to it. What if you don't see any changes or progress in your spouse changing? How long have you been standing for your spouse? God, gold petals. How long have you been standing and praying? Like, what are you doing? Because you should be seeing changes in your spouse, right? Also, when we talk about seeing changes in our spouse, make sure you're not overlooking the small changes, okay? Because we can be so fixated on, I want to see this counterfeit removed, to where now we're overlooking the small, changes God is doing, you know. How do you want to trust the counterfeit? Because I sure won't entertain them just because, right? So once they leave the counterfeit, I'm gonna just say this: He's not sending them back. God's not sending your prodigal back immediately after they leave the counterfeit, because it'll be like God sending them back to just rebound on you. So when they break off things with this counterfeit, your prodigal is still going through their pruning, their own process of growing and development, right? You know, but you said, how long should you wait to trust them? When your prodigal come back, when they reach out to you and they have that talk with you, right? You just gonna listen to them talk, listen to whatever they got to say. You make it clear to your prodigal, okay, this is where I'm at. Okay, you got to know for yourself, built in fire, how did my prodigal break my trust, right? When you identify these are the ways my prodigal broke my trust, when that call come through, now we need to have a conversation around this, so that, and I want everyone to do this, communicate to your prodigal how they broke your trust and how they can win it back. And then after you communicate that, you don't say anything, just wait to see if they're going to, win your trust back. That's how this individual is serious about, you and coming back, okay, for all the right reason, but I can't put a time limit on it. It's just all about looking to see if your prodigal is willing to earn your trust back, because they broke your trust. I'm about are to put in that effort to win it back. I thought I was walking into forgiveness and healed until I was triggered. I don't know if it's the afterbirth hormone, witchcraft, or what. No, it was the trigger. And so here's the thing, because you could have been moving into a level of forgiveness and healing, but yeah, you just got triggered by something. So just because you got triggered, it doesn't mean you're not healed. It doesn't mean you didn't forgive. No, it just means it's God highlighting to you, there's one more thing I want you to deal with, right? And so we deal with it. Identify that as a trigger and then deal with it. Why did I get triggered from this? What is this trigger telling me? How is this trigger making me feel? Right? That's all it is. The next stage after stage is whatever God tells you to do. Of any changes or progress if you are not in communication. Well, God will show you through dreams or however way God speaks to you. You just got to see. We're going to have a dream interpretation class coming up real soon. But when God give us dreams, okay, one of the first things I do when I wake up from my dreams is I figure out, like, okay, what type of dream was this? Right? That's what was this, right? Because I would give us different, give us dreams, no, this is what's happening, right? So if you're not in communication with them, God will reveal it to you in your, okay? Speaks all through dreams. He would even tell you where the enemy is at in your dream, concerning like your prodigal and their situation. So you gotta, it's just a matter of how does God speak to me, and then you just wait for God to reveal the changes to you. Okay, Catherine said, how am I supposed to even start out a convo? You're not supposed to start out a convo when your spouse, Charlie is a woman, for those of you who don't know. But when your spouse contact you, let me say this. If your spouse contact you via text, and let's say they just say, hey, what's been up? You say, hey, you say hi back, but don't have no conversation over text. Say, I would love to hear your voice. Give me a call sometime. Okay. Wait for that call. Okay. Try to call you. You let them talk. You keep things neutral, nice. Hey, how you been? How the family? You don't go into nothing heavy. You allow them to go. You allow them to start up that conversation, because they're the ones who did you wrong. We as women got to get out of this habit, and I'm not saying you in this habit, but we got to get out of this habit of want to be the first, to clear things up when they did us wrong. Let your prodigal come and contact you and tell you, however way they want to say it, they apologize and they want to right and pursue you. So you don't, just but let your prodigal know if they text you, I would love to hear your voice. Give me a call sometime, and wait for that call. Stop texting. He don't seem like he want to change, living a single life or though married. See, okay. When you're dealing with a prodigal that's married, that's hands off for me. Okay. That's where I stop at. Okay. Because I believe in God. I believe God, he honors covenant. So, you know, I can't really answer that, because my advice might go against what you want to hear. Because I'm gonna tell you, keep it moving. If he's married, God would show him you in the wrong marriage. If God didn't choose that marriage for him, God would make it crystal clear. This is the wrong marriage. This isn't where the promise is at. If you want my promise, you got to end this marriage. Okay. He would communicate this however way God, communicated to him. And once they get out of these marriages, then y'all ask me these questions. But I believe God honors covenant. Whether it was, God never chose that marriage, he's still going to honor his covenant. It's a choice like love, right? Forgiveness is a commandment. We are commanded to forgive 70 times 7, you know. Forgiveness is also a decision I make. And in that decision, when I'm choosing to forgive, I also have to I gotta like unravel all the things that's causing me to operate in unforgiveness. So I gotta heal, all these other things up under it. Love is who we are, right? Love is already on the inside of us, because God is love. Genesis said God created man in his image. In the image of God, he created you and I. So if I'm created in God's image, and if love is God, then love is already on the inside of me, so I don't have to look outside myself for love. It's already in me. But love is a commandment. Forgiveness is a command. And when we choose to operate in unforgiveness, we are now partnering with the devil, and our payment will be torment in the mind. It blocks our blessing. It's torture. It's like we punishing ourselves. If I say I'm going to have him doing laps. Yes, the boundary will speak for itself. Um, just when God told me to leave, that was a boundary. I just left. I ain't give no notice. I ain't check in and tell him I'm leaving. I just left. Okay, he knew why I was leaving. And I let the boundary speak for myself. Okay, let's see. How do you deal with a prodigal that you no longer know at all? It's like starting over all over again after almost 7 years. I don't know how much there is to address. So don't get ahead. Okay. Don't overthink. Just when God opened up that communication with you and your prodigal, you start, wherever your prodigal, when they start talking to you, excuse me, you start right then and there. Okay. Just learning about them. This is how it's going to be when God bring back these prodigals. They no longer going to be a prodigal. That's number one. But when God, we're going to have to learn each other all over again, right? Because God has taken us through a process of growth, development, pruning, correction, deliverance, and so you will be getting to know your spouse all over again, and your spouse will be getting to know you all over again. So you just take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. You can prepare asking or write it down, okay, these are, I remember you asked yesterday, you were saying finances are important to you. So one of the things you want to learn about your spouse is you want to have that finance talk. So you could put that on your piece of paper. We need to have a financial talk. I want to learn, I want to become my spouse's best friend. You could just map it out on your paper, all you want to learn about your spouse, and just to get where they at in life, have that already written down so that you're prepared when they call you. You can't put a time limit on it. See, no, you can't put a time limit on it because you that's a you're beginning your own way if you put a time limit on it. Okay, that's just like your spouse coming to you and telling you, "I want you to love me this way," and that's not even the way how you love. You're like, nah. Your spouse might want to love you and show you, they serious about you in different ways, and it might take longer than 40 days. You got to understand, and this for the person you can spend a red, so you can't say I give you a year to show me, and I'm just saying, I'm just speaking, I give you a year to show me, that you want to pursue me and make things right. If that's what it takes to win me back over, then so be it. Because this not going to be a boyfriend. This not going to be a girlfriend. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. So I'm going to give you this room. I'm going to give you this time to show me, okay, all of what you want to show me. See, what we missing is you don't even know. This is how much God loves you. And this also can apply to the man as well, the believing males, the believing husband. Loves children so much to where he know exactly what we've been through in our past. He know, about the abandonment, the rejection. He know how your family mistreated you. He know how, your baby's dad abandoned you, rejected you. He know this. He know how you've been married and divorced. And God, he loves you so much to where he want to surprise you in this love story. He's already speaking to your prodigal on how to love you, how to come back the right way. God knows the desires of your heart, and he's going to put those desires in your spouse, in your husband or your wife, and he's going to be talking to them, telling them, do this, do that, right? I'm going to tell you one of the things, I say this with all honesty because me, last year, the beginning of last year, my spouse, what he didn't know, okay, because I had a history of being in a relationship where these guys would keep me a secret, okay. Now, what he didn't know was that it was very important to me to for the one who's interested in me to show me off, to show you're not afraid to be seen with me. And that's what he did early on. Okay. He put me on his social media pages, and that spoke directly to my heart. And I started laughing. I said, God, I said, you had to tell him to do that, because how would he know to do this? And let me say this, my spouse don't highlight them counterfeits on his pages, but I was on there. So that spoke a lot, and so God would speak to your prodigal on how to win you back, but you got to open up that time frame. You can't limit it to 40 days. Yeah. So God want to, like I said, he's going to surprise you. And then, yeah, this is a good question, MCA. Yeah, does the progress of this love story increase when you start seeing my wife or my husband for females instead of seeing future spouse? Right. It does. You start or you become the same future spouse. You still, it's that's not really agreement. When you claim it, okay, and you say my husband, my wife, and when you speak like this to other people, and don't be moved when people be looking at you like you crazy, or saying, how can you say your husband or your wife and they ain't even pursuing you? Because that's my husband, that's my wife. When you say that and when you move, it's like an energy, but it also pulls your spouse, your prodigal, in a direction to claim you as well. I shared this before. I believe it could have been June, the month of June, because I wasn't, one of the things my spouse and I wasn't doing was like verbally claiming one another out loud. We would do the little subtle hints, right? And I kept hearing God telling me, just step in it, Tequila, go ahead and claim, step in it. And I had some fear behind it, because I was like, because I know who watched my channel. A lot of haters, counterfeits, the enemy watches my channel. Family members watches my channel. And I didn't really want them to know all my business, but I heard God saying, step in it. So I think it was around June. I just stepped in and I just started referring to him as my husband. And the minute I started referring to him as that, now I'm hearing my wife come out of his mouth. Okay. So you have, you can pull your spouse in that direction. We are a reflection. We are a mirror to our spouse in the spirit realm. So who keep on saying to spouse, my supposed to be spouse, you're gonna see that same energy over there with your prodigal, still undecided on who you are until you step in it. It's too fasting, praying, giving him the space he wants, since he says he don't want this. Speaking life when he gets in contact with me, say no. And so the process, you got to stop letting him contact you. See, the book of Jonah, we know the story. Jonah was running from his calling. Jonah was a prodigal, right? God swallowed him up in a whale. And God had him sit there in that whale until Jonah decided to be obedient to the instructions of the Lord. One of the problems we are having with these prodigals, and one of the reasons why a lot of you are not seeing changes in your prodigal, is because you keep opening up that door. When you open up that door and talk to your prodigal, right? You allow them to have contact with you. You sleep with your prodigal, whatever the case may be, you are giving them that release. It's like God opened the well back up, right? And then Jonah go back, I'm just, saying, Jonah go back and say, I ain't being obedient. God kept that mouth. He kept him in that well for 3 days. In that well, if you read the story, Jonah was distressed. He was in there being tortured. He was going back when he thought he was about to die. And then he started getting revelation. Then he was like, okay, all right, I'm going to be obedient, right? You got to let them sit in their mess. You got to not be afraid to block them and keep them on block. You got to hold them accountable. You have to remove yourself all the way out of the picture and not be afraid that your spouse is going to go to the counterfeit. Let them, because when your spouse, and I'm specifically referring to a prodigal husband, when your prodigal husband see that his wife, he probably already know you're his wife. When he see his wife is willing to let him go, he's like, wait a minute, these counterfeits, they not even willing to let me go. It's a correction. He's like, wait a minute. Now he starts seeing your value. Now he's like, she got standards. I want that. But when you keep on opening up that door to him, he have no reason to change because you gave him that release. Okay. So he contacted you again, let that go to voicemail. Voicemail, I've been calling you, don't even listen to it. Throw that phone all the way up under that bed so you won't, get in your own way and call him back. Jay, if your husband keeps showing up angry in your dreams, God is showing you a prayer point. He wants you to pray against that spirit of anger, resentment, bitterness, disappointment, probably depression, also madman spirit. Rebuke all that off of him and destroy, begin to pray, God, destroy that demonic altar of anger that has erected itself over my husband, that's keeping him bound, to this spirit. Destroy it with your fire. In Jesus. I know. Okay. Catherine, she said a call. I want him to pick me up and talk. Step 1. Wait, let him do it. Okay. So if he texts or call, he wouldn't move it to it. Okay. But meet him where he's at. Okay. So if the first call, he just wanted to be over the phone, go ahead. Talk over the phone. Wait for his invitation. Okay. Wait for his invitation. Because when he called, he don't know how you're going to respond. So he probably like, he probably thinking the same thing as you. Like, he probably like, okay, Lord, because they be having fear, He probably like, okay, Lord, okay, let's see. Let's test it out and see, where she's at, what she's thinking, right? And so you had that conversation, everything goes smoothly. He's like, okay, all right, cool. Now he's inviting you out. Let's go out to dinner, then you on the date. Yep. Cassandra said, understand, people, we are not good enough for our prodigals when you are healed. Right. Because your prodigal, if they don't know their worth, they can't even identify, someone who is worthy that's standing in front of them. She said, when you are healed, but they don't come back as kings, we take them as less as kings and expect God to be in it. Right. And God is like, because he go in, see the 1st or 2nd Peter, where it refers to God's children as royalty. God see us as a king or a queen. So God is like, okay, queen, okay, king, wait until I send, my other son or daughter back to you, because you are worthy, this individual, rising to that occasion, rising up to that standard of being a king and queen, right? God is like, he wants us to see our worth. Let me just stop trying to beat around the bush. He wants us to see our worth and stand in our value, okay, and understand that we are worthy of being pursued. That's what God wants us to really come into understanding and knowing. Mm-hmm. I don't understand the question, Gold Pedal. You said God honors covenants, so fasting and praying, interceding help. Are you the one who said your prodigal is married? I don't really understand the question. When I say God honors covenant, so if you're dealing with a prodigal who is currently married, this is just my belief. You can sit up here and be doing all this praying and fasting, and rebuking that counterfeit, but it's going to be up to him to get out of that marriage. God is witchcraft. God's not going to come in and break up a marriage. He honors marriage. He the one created marriage, even if it is the wrong marriage. He honors it. He honors his covenant. He will make it crystal clear to the individuals in the marriage that God's hand's not on it. You're not going to get my blessings. He would make it crystal clear to the person, okay, that I'm not in this. And it would be left up to that person that's married to decide if they want to end this marriage and get back in right standing with God and pursue, the one God has for them. Okay. Alicia said, what prodigal has multiple counterfeits and messages a ton of girls on IG. I feel like he has validation issues and needs constant attention. I don't know if he's capable of being committed to just me. Yeah, so prayer points, okay? So if your prodigal has multiple counterfeit, God, I rebuke every counterfeit, okay, that's trying to sit in my seat. Y'all already know how to rebuke these counterfeits, okay? But also, you want to talk to God about your prodigal being, committed to you. So, Father, I ask that you will heal his commitment issues, okay? Make him into a faithful husband. Go into that Bible and type in Google scriptures on husband. You want scriptures over your prodigal. I thank you, Father, for making my prodigal spouse into a faithful husband, to a loving husband, to a husband who lives with his wife in an understanding way, because that's what the Bible say, right? Begin to, just over his life, that God has to say so. You're praying, okay? It's not going to be left up to him to decide if he's going to be committed or not. If you praying the right way over your spouse, then God is going to move him into healing those commitment issues, and he's going to talk to him about being faithful to his daughter, okay? And he could have validation issues. It's insecurity. It's also what he was taught. These guys were taught what makes them a man is the amount of women they sleep with. So God has to correct him in his mindset. Thank you, Cassandra. Yeah, invisible cloak. Should I having dreams of my God ordained spouse being with me in relationship? So what does that mean? I'm not saying this is what's happening in your dream, but if any of you having dreams or having sex with your prodigal spouse, that's a masquerading spirit, and that spirit is being sent to bind up your spirit and destroy your life. Okay, so you want to rebuke all of that, come out of agreement with that, because that's not really your spouse. I just wanted to say that. And what type of messages is your spouse saying to you? Um, Yep, right, Bree. One day at a time, write the vision, make it plain. Yep. Built in fine. Y'all got to understand, because she said it was a joke about the 40 days. Y'all got to understand, I take what I serious, okay? I really do want to see you all in your marriages. So when I hear certain things, because in my mind, when I saw the 40 days, I was like, she about to get in her own way. I gotta have that's where my mind goes. We're not for no Ishmael. Mm-mm. If your spouse doesn't know the Lord, then that's right. God encountered my spouse in a way where he knows you. Give him his own personal expose secret. Every person my spouse is keeping a secret, bring it to the light and remove them. Okay. Knowing your husband's is with counterfeits and you sitting here praying for them, yearning for your spouse, and they keep saying it's over. They told you they would be there for you. What to do then? Well, you stop listening to what's coming out of your husband's mouth. Excuse me. You got to make God, his word, the final say so over your marriage. And then you got to understand, you got to, okay, in what ways am I lonely, right? How can I, help me to overcome this loneliness feeling, right? You got to learn how to meet your own loneliness needs, okay? And that's the hardest, if we're going to talk about what's hard, the hardest part is how do I meet my own personal needs and stop looking to my spouse to do it, right? Because that's what God is calling for us to do. When we learn how to meet our own needs, we now move to a level of contentment, and patient, because I'm already meeting my needs, so I'm not feeling lonely, I'm not feeling neglected, I'm not feeling rejected, I'm not even feeling overlooked by my spouse because I'm over here meeting my own needs, right? And I have made God, word what he said to say so over my situation. So, I don't care. Like I have this attitude when it comes down to counterfeits, I don't care. How many pop up? I don't care what he doing with them. It's ending in the marriage. Have your fun now. I prefer for you to get all of that lust out of you now, because when we say I do, you're going to come correct. That's my mindset. So I don't even, and I know that's kind of hard for some of y'all to like really take, but I'm just like, get it out of you now, because it would be no adultery in our marriage and it would be no divorce. It's not an option. Right? So you gotta figure out, overcome this loneliness. I gotta listen to what my husband's saying and also build boundaries with my husband and make God's word the final say so. Yeah, Lily. Uh, Easy. Cam said I put a restraining order on my prodigal, but it's like, how is God going to work this? I refuse to separate from him after God told me 1 year. I told my prodigal and he had no faith saying I would find someone else. I went back and now I have no choice but to stay away from him for a year. Yeah, there you go. And that 1 year might be big. I could work that out, but whatever the reason was for you to put that restraining order on your prodigal, that's what God is working out in him. Okay. So you might need that year to work on you, just becoming better as a woman and as a wife, growing, and doing whatever else God brings to your attention. But allow God to work out what needs to be worked out in your prodigal in that whole year. you know what? In the beginning, Lily said it must be tough when enemies are secretly watching your channel. In the beginning, because I was focused on it, it wasn't tough. I was allowing the enemy to kind of like silence, some of the things I say, but I don't care. I'd be like, okay, you want to watch? I'm gonna give you something to watch. I take that attitude, and I really don't care anymore because it's counterfeit that's watching and my haters that's watching. So I get them something to watch. I know every time I go live, I upload a video, I irritate them. So, and then the other thing too, God revealed to me, he was like, Tequila, you actually the leader that they need to watch. It's bringing correction to my haters, and enemies life. So I just lead, and my hopes is whatever enemy that's watching me or whatever hater, you know, just understand and know you don't have to stay that way. You don't got to be a hater or an enemy. When you love yourself, you stand in your worth and value, you own your own lane. You don't got to hate on anyone. Do all way. I don't know, Jay. You said, could that be why my husband is angry? I don't know. When I put my daughters on time out with not answering calls and text messages, they call me abusive because they don't do me like that, but it's my way of boundary. That's right. And that's what you stand on. You don't, let me tell you something. They call you abusive, okay, but they got to respect your boundaries. So that's what you tell them, like if you run into them on the street, you call whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you're going to respect my boundaries, okay? And then this is part of this process as well. You got to know who you are and know who you're not. I'm not abusive. I have, okay? Boundaries aren't abusive. A lot of people was calling me mean because I would bring correction. Well, the truth hurt. A lot of people don't like to be corrected. People don't like to hear the truth. Okay. But if just because I'm giving you truth doesn't mean I'm being mean to you. The Bibles tell us, when you give truth, that's a form of love. That's an act of love, right? So no, you're doing exactly right. It's not abusive. It's just simply boundaries. And if your prodigal doesn't know how to, properly communicate or treat you, how you want to be treated, they don't deserve to talk to you. They don't deserve for you to respond back in a text message. And a lot of these prodigals, they get upset. They have these temper tantrums because they used to women putting up with mistreatment. They used to it. And so when you step on the scene and you're the first to say, not over here, I'm going to give you a boundary. Right? Now it's forcing them to grow up. The very thing that they resist and don't want to do. So you're not abusive. God will pick those dreams back up in due time. Are they? Let me just read it. So built fire. She said, "Can you tell the people to walk in love on here? Because I'm feeling some judgmental energy on here. So I'm not sure if y'all was going back and forth in the comment. You know, um, let's just walk in love, everyone. You know, like, then you just gotta understand, the enemy is all through this lie with the connection. You just gotta rebuke it. Oh, okay. Gold Petal said, I am the believing spouse, wife. We are married. He's with the other woman. I have been praying, fasting, interceding with this help. Will this help? Yes, it will. It's been 2 years. I'm praying and trying, but it's like his free will. Girl, God knocked down that free will and when the prodigals are up under God's judgment. So if he's with another woman, you go to God in prayer, you say, God, my husband and I made a covenant with you in this marriage. And there's another woman that's coming in between this covenant we made with you. Okay. Be very clear with God. I don't want this woman to die. I don't want you to kill her, but I do want you to remove her. Encounter her in her dreams. Give her no rest until she let my husband go because she's coming in between your covenant we made with you. Pray that. Pray that. And also in correction, husband. Oh. I'm not even gonna go there. If you're trying to figure out if your prayers are coming on erring on the side of witchcraft, God will have to correct you in that area, okay? Because one person can view the way how you praying as controlling. You're praying right, okay? You know, I'm very aggressive in prayer, okay? I have told God, allow my spouse, he's not a prodigal anymore, but I have told God when he was a prodigal, have him ghost these counterfeits, just walk away. No explanation. Now people might say, "Oh, tequila, whatever." Get away from them, So you got to allow God to bring correction. Okay, if you are, praying witchcraft prayers over your spouse, you just got to allow God to correct you in that area because you might be praying right. Okay. God, he never correct me when I prayed that way. Actually, one day, let me tell y'all this. One day I was sitting in the parking lot at Myers. I was sitting in my truck at Myers and I was praying. I just felt the anointing hit me to pray. And I don't know what I was praying, but it was for my spouse. And I heard God say, "That's right, bold as a lion." And it just, oh my God, it was like God was like pumping me up, like, keep going, tequila, keep going. So, don't allow people to move you out of your prayer closet. Mm-mm. They might be boxed in with their prayers with God. Mm-mm. Because why do husbands do this to their wives? They vow to. Well, when you get married, to these individuals, the same way how I just went through this information, right? We talked about 7 steps to heal a broken heart. And so just like our Bree was saying, she wished she had this information, a couple of years ago. Sometimes we marry these individuals and we don't even know what to look for to see if they heal, to see if they broken, to see if their maturity level, to see if they have character. We don't know, right? We just get married. And so when we get married, then now, when the devil comes in, now we're seeing what this marriage is built on. Is built on a foundation that's rooted in sand, right? So it's not that these husbands are intentionally doing this. They probably never had character. They probably were emotionally unavailable even when they said I do. Okay. They probably always had a trust issue. They probably always had all that lust in them and they needed to get it out, or didn't know how to walk self-control discipline, right? So they do these things. It just was in them. And now that it's coming out, right, with what God is doing with us, um what God is doing with us, our male is standing up this way. So when we start praying, fasting, rebuking, doing deliverance and stuff on our spouse, God began to take that our marriage, our prodigal, that He turned it around. Now the marriage is built on the rock, a solid foundation, right? It's built on commitment, honesty, trust, faithfulness, loyalty, So God just getting his back in order, and he's getting his children in order too. So I got cut them off. So I have allowed him to cut me off with no protest. Maybe that's why he's mad. Yes, because he know your behavior, right? And he was expecting you off to, however way you used to respond in the past, he was looking for that response. And now that you're not responding that way, he's like, what? How dare she try to have self-control? How dare she try to love herself, right? How dare she have standards? She's supposed to be chasing behind me and crying for me and trying to get my attention. And that's why he's mad. But you continue to do what you're doing. Continue to do what you're doing. Okay? You showing your husband in your action without talking, this is my standard. This is where I stop. This is my boundary. If you want my attention, husband, it requires for you to show up this way. It requires for you to stop doing the thing that's hurting me and, learn your wife all over again. Learn how to be a faithful husband, and a loving man, So continue doing what you're doing. Let him have his little temper tantrum. He'll be okay. He's going to be with that counterfeit, taking his anger out on them. That's why I say, let them have them counterfeit, them other women. He's going to take all that anger out on her. When she get tired of him, she's going to kick him out. Let him. Yeah, see, Sylvester just said it. Maybe he wanted change like something. Yeah, he want her to respond to him the way how she used to in the past. But nope. That's right, Jay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good Deja. She said, please start interpreting dreams again. I'm going to teach y'all how to interpret your dreams because I'm one person over here running a ministry and a business. And dream interpretation takes time, because y'all be having some long dreams and I got to sit there and. So I teach you how to interpret your own dreams because you need to know. You need to, as a prophet, and if whoever our prophets on here, you should know how to interpret dreams. Okay, if not, interpret your dream because you should know how to do this so that when people start coming to you, when they start learning you are a prophet, they're going to be like, "What I had a dream." You should know how to help them and assist them, and because what you basically teaching them is this is another way how God speaks. So I'm going to teach you all how to interpret your own dream. When God is speaking to you during this love story, you can understand what he is saying. Right. I prayed like that too. Not well, they remove. I don't even focus on these counterfeits anymore. But Lily said, not hating the counterfeit. If he leaves her, maybe she will also find her God ordained spouse. That's how I pray. Right. I was praying like that last year. I was like, God, because in the beginning, I was going in on the counterfeit, but then I was like, okay, Lord, go ahead. I just started praying for the counterfeit's heart. I began to pray, that God will bring to her, like give her the revelation that she's holding on to the wrong person. And when she let it go, okay, and get back in right standing with you, Father, that you also have a love story for her. So that is a good way to pray, because even though some of these counterfeits are operating in witchcraft, they broken. These are broken women, broken. The mans are warlocks. These are broken individuals. And they turn into this wickedness, so we want to pray for their heart. The mother, give them a personal face-to-face so they craft black and know that you are more powerful than the devil. MCA, I'm reading your comment when you talking about how your family they all gang up against you and try to convince you otherwise. And if God's not giving you a job, it's not that God's not giving you a job. He wants you to, he might be calling for you to stand up to your family, and not saying you're not doing it, but he might be calling for you to like really just grow in, like in this particular situation in your family, stand up to him, and if the door is not opening for a job, then he probably wants you to go ahead, step out on faith and start your own. What I learned from you, Tequila, is pray and trust God. Then God will tell me and show me what my prayers are doing, which motivates me to keep praying. Yeah, yeah. Because that's what God is after. He wants us to trust him. And it's in us trusting God is where now we build in faith. We are having our own personal encounter with God. We seeing how powerful our prayers are. It's like we growing. So yeah, he was moving behind. Cam say, I love how you pray has been helping me with my daily prayer point and how aggressive. Adding the gift of tongues also took my prayer to the next level. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I put on my heart, I just pray against it. You should never be tired of praying. That just means you don't understand prayer. That's what that's saying. Because when I have a level of understanding of what my prayers are doing, I don't get tired of it. What you're getting tired of is, you know, for those of you who can see your product, or you're getting tired of the back and forth and seeing them with counterfeit. You're not getting tired of prayer. You're getting tired of that foolishness you seeing operate through your product. Okay. Um, but prayer is powerful. I'm telling you. I had this neighbor. She had so many demonic spirits in her, messing with my kids, and she was able to draw me in because I wasn't thinking. When you mess with my kids, I just and but when I was going off, she kind of smirked at me. She was in her doorway. She gave me a little smirk, and that's when it hit me. I said, "That's a demon." And I went in the house. I told my kids, I said, "Stay outside." I went in the house. I was like, I was just going up. That woman don't even look my way anymore. I told God, get her no rest. Bother her all night long. Keep her up at night about me. She won't look my way. You got to understand how powerful your prayer is. And she ain't never said nothing else to my children ever again after that. Yep. The reason you would get tired of prayer is because you want things to be in our control and only God's is in control. That's right. You ready for it to like, because some of us are waiting, are ready for God to return your prodigals back to you, but they're not ready. God can't break his own word. God said, what God has joined together, let no man separate. He can't send your prodigal back right now. It won't stay together because they're not ready. You know, this stance is all about us and God, like getting us into this new creation. He's growing us up. He's healing what needs to be healed. He's correcting certain mindsets we have. You know, it's all about us. Okay, I'm looking forward to hearing it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that. God revealing the purpose of this God ordained marriage. Yeah, and God will do that. Yep, yep. He will give you a dream revealing that. I don't know what question you're talking about, MCA. Oh, you're talking about the question you sent in? No, I haven't answered that yet. No, I haven't. I answer that tomorrow. Every time you mention the prodigal throwing a temper tantrum, I remember God showing me this video yesterday with deers. Is it okay if I post it in the Facebook group? Go ahead, you can post it in there. Oh, imagine that, This is another thing. This process is about. So Catherine said, I don't see myself as a prophetess, even though he told me I was one, right? In self-image. He want us to change how we see ourselves. And now begin to see ourselves as a prophetess. And it's really just a title because you are the prophetess. You still Catherine. The prophetess still has, right. You are the prophetess who come with the jokes. You the prophetess. Just how you are. It's just now I'm just aligning my voice with what God is telling me to say, and because Catherine been emailing me, and you stepping into it slowly but surely. So it's just a mindset shift. But this is what I want us to step into. Like when he began to change your title, he wants us to now accept the calling, accept the mantle, step in it. You got to see yourself, okay, as the prophet, because like I no longer see myself as a single mom of 3 children. Mm-mm. I don't even. I'm a wife, a prophet. Okay, I'm a woman of God. That's how. I don't get you just got to step into it and allow him to change your self image around it. How about those of us? How long I've been on here? 2 hours. Okay. How about those of us who married but have no kids with our spouse? So it seemed that that's the reason they could care less to come back. No responsibility, so easy for them to not want to return. Nah, you are their responsibility. You don't need kids, in order for your spouse to have responsibility. No, he's responsible for you. Excuse me. You're this for all the prodigals. They're not coming back because they know they're not ready. They're not coming back because of what's going on in them. They know this. They know this. They still trying to work things out in their mindset. They got stuff. It's certain things they dealing with. They can associate the wife for the ones who's married. They can associate going back home to my wife. Oh my God, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. It comes with me being the man of the household. If he want to be the provider, I gotta pay for everything. And if he don't have a job, he's not coming back. You're not gonna come back. So, you know, he's not coming back. He's not in a hurry to come back because of on his mental. And when he's out with the counterfeits or the other women, it's like it's like playtime. I don't have any responsibility. You know, they get me. It's like I'm in my own little fantasy land. But God is going to encounter them and be like, okay, fantasy over. It's time for you to get to work. I'm calling you back home. So don't worry. You praying the way you suggest. Keep on praying the way you've been praying. You already moving into a level of boundaries. Okay, you're growing. You're growing. You're not going to see like a fast turnaround because God wants you to grow. He want to do things in you. He want to show you certain things and your husband through his process. Can y'all hear my children? They up there having a ball. Yeah. The more I wanted to give up on the spouse, God sent a word of confirmation. Question: will God show us in dreams how our spouse are changing? Is this consideration evidence? Yes, it is evidence. God will give us, I call those dreams future, future dreams. So God will show you in your dream how your spouse will be in the future. So He will give you a dream. Your spouse is all loving. He might show you and your spouse with kids in a dream. They might be proposing to you in a dream. God is showing you. Yes, it's evidence, but God also will focus on that image because hurt and pain can have you so focused on the past and image. We looking at the hurt and pain. Look at this dream I just gave you. Focus on this. Because what we focus on, we're going to grow closer to it. So if I'm focused on the hate, rejection, the pain, I'm staying in this state of mind. But if I focus on what God's showing me, I'm moving towards it. Okay. And I can pull my spouse into it as well. Where to start on a business? What is your business name? Go ahead and get the LLC. Go buy your domain name. Like just start. You do know where to start at on your business. Just start. Ask yourself, what's the first thing I want to do? What first thing? The academy, when we talk about business, is specifically going to help those who God is calling to like the inner healing and deliverance ministry. So if you want to start an online business or you looking to start your ministry online, the academy will help you with that. So what I'm going to teach you all inside of the academy is like how to set up your website. Okay, like what goes on the website, how to set it up. Okay, get it ready, to launch your business or your ministry. We're going to go through how to establish your social media online presence, right? For those of you who are already on YouTube, you got a YouTube channel. I'm going to show you exactly how to build your channel, how to get your first 1,000 subscribers, and do it out, how to develop your content, okay? Because with YouTube, you got to produce content every day if you want to get your subscribers up, okay? So I can show you exactly how to map out your content, grow your channel. Another thing you would learn inside of the academy is how to write a book, because God has been calling for some of you to write a book. So I'm going to teach you. It's going to be more than how to write a book, how to become a best-selling author, because I'm going to show you exactly how to write the book, take you through the publication process, and also how to hit bestseller author over on Amazon, okay? How to sell the book. So that's just one piece to the puzzle of the Marriage Academy. You better say it, Sylvester. Because definitely with MCA, a prophet is not welcome in his hometown. It's in you. They fighting the prophet or whatever you're carrying on the inside of you. It's a spiritual thing. Okay, I'm gonna take two more. Then we're gonna go ahead and call this a night. Um, Husband is with other woman who I find out she's still married. They were talking, drafting up papers. It's been over a year, no paperwork. Could you tell me what is this all about? What to do? So embarrassing. Okay, so that other woman married, and now she's thinking about divorcing her husband, trying to marry yours. I tear that up in prayer. I sure will. I will tear it down in prayer. God, like you gotta go in. You can't be playing with the devil, okay? Can't be playing with the devil. So number one, we're gonna rebuke this other woman, and put God in remembrance of this covenant. Okay, you and your husband made, before God. Um, I will also, like I said, rebuke this other woman. I will also rebuke this woman trying to, get a divorce to marry my husband. The devil is a lie. Just dismantle all of that. But the real enemy, what you're dealing with here, it's an altar, and I know yesterday someone asked me in the group, can I teach you on altars? And I think I know a lot about demonic altars, because what you're dealing with here is there's a demonic altar that's sitting over your marriage. Okay. One is adultery. So when you praying, and you might have to fast to break this thing, you want to pray and ask God, destroy every demonic altar that has erected itself over my marriage, keeping my husband in adultery. Okay. And whatever else you see and show up in your husband. So it could be a pride, that could be an altar, lust, that's an altar, anger, whatever you see, these are demonic altars. Okay. Because sometimes we just rebuke and bind, we renounce, and that's it. But you ain't dealt with that altar. Okay, that's like the root. So when we take this to God and ask God, send the fire of God to that demonic altar of adultery, burn it down, destroy it with your spirit. Now we got to come crumbling it down. Okay, so we got to deal with that demonic altar first. Okay, and then you'll start seeing changes in your husband. And rebuke that spirit of embarrassment off you. You don't have to be embarrassed about that. She is my God ordained spouse watching me here. He probably is. He probably is. I don't put it past anyone, The Lord, let me tell y'all something. The Lord be telling on people, he would tell on people in your dreams. He has showed me, this was last year. He showed me one of my baby daddy spying on me and my on YouTube with a hit and a, you know, I don't put it past anyone. Okay, Danielle, if your kingdom spouse, if he's a prodigal, his birthday this month, hey, this what you can do, because he's a prodigal, so you're in divine separation. God, can you let my spouse know that I wish him a happy birthday? Can you just communicate that message to him in the way how you choose to do it? That's what you can say, but don't reach out to him. Yeah, that is another reason why they act that way, because the counterfeit, they're not gonna hold them accountable. Yeah. This is why we have a lot of let's just move away from the prodigal counterfeit. This is why I figured this out when I was mentoring single mothers, and when I was mentoring single mothers, who were abandoned while pregnant. The reason why there's cheating in this world, the reason why there's adultery, um, it's like 5 women to 1 man, is because there's no accountability. Some of these women make it very easy for a man to cheat. They don't mind being kept a secret, you know? And so when we get back in position, we're holding these men accountable. And when we learn our value and raise our standards, these men have no other choice but to come correct. That's my ministry. Hold these I'm about to say something. Hold these men accountable. Okay. Get them back in order. A man, he should already know. Okay. He shouldn't even, I don't even know how to say it. A man should already know when I approach her, I gotta come correct. I can't, be messing around with 50 other women. Mm-mm. But we gotta get to holding these men accountable. I don't know how hold up. Okay. Um So when and how would God shake out of fantasy land? I don't know how God would do it, but I do know He will do it. Okay. My testimony is, God told me to leave my spouse December. It was like December the 23rd last year. Even though I left physically, I didn't leave emotionally. I was still looking, checking, and he knew it. He could probably feel it. And it wasn't until April of this year, because I had reached out to him. I was trying to communicate, trying to just clear up all this confusion, and he was unwilling to talk. And that hurt my feelings. And I was like, I'm done. I was just like, I'm done. If you're not willing to talk, I'm not willing to keep on sitting here, listening or even watching you. That was my mindset. And so I told God, I'm done. I said, I'll pray, but I'm done. I said, when you're ready to bring this back, you're going to have to go ahead and put those desires back in my heart. You're going to have to wake it up because I was done. And so April, I was done. And it was, I think it was the end of April. I heard God say, what words? He said, the fun has stopped. And that caught my attention. I was like, oh, really? I was like, really? And I'd be asking God, how did it stop? What did you do? Right? But God don't tell me the details. So I don't know how God was shaking them out of that fantasy land. But what I do know is when I left completely, when I was done, okay, it caught his attention. It made him stop all this fun, okay? Whatever he was doing that was, labeled fun. So that's why I keep saying you got to hold them accountable and you can't be afraid to leave, okay? They got to like really know and feel your presence gone, because when you leave, now they get to see, like, it makes them realize, man, wait a minute, I took her for granted. Like, this is what I was getting when she was in my life. And now she left. Because I was gone for real. It had it because God was the one who got me back in the game. I was gone for real. I was like peace. You have to be able to keep on checking and looking. I'm out. So Charlie said, don't follow me. Catherine, change your name to Catherine now. We're going to stop calling you Charlie now. No. Prophetess Catherine. That's what I want you to put your name. Prophetess, y'all refer to Charlie as Prophetess Catherine. Go ahead and push you into your calling. Yes. Yep. He will contact you, Danielle. So that's it. We're gonna call it a night tonight, okay? We're gonna call it a night. Everyone have a great night. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel if you're just, you're tuning in, but you're quiet, you don't want to comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. All right. Take care. Have a great night.